Congratulations and a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining my Property Millionaire Academy, and I'm looking forward to helping you get very, very wealthy. This is now the information for you on one of the chosen strategies. As you're aware, I've either chosen 2 strategies for you or 3 strategies, and this is one of the strategies I've chosen for you. So this strategy is to rent and exchange contracts. So it's like a lease option. So you're leasing the property off the owner. You have not just the option to buy, you've actually exchanged contracts. So you have the obligation to buy, but because we've put it on an assignable contract, that means you can sell it on. But let me take you through this stage by stage, and I can't emphasize enough to you the importance of doing this in gentle, nibbling stages. Please do not go and say all of this to the agent all at the same time. Not because it's too much for the agent to take on board, but because then the agent will go straight to the vendor and tell them the whole thing all put together. So this you'll understand more as I explain. So I'm going to, and accompanied with the email where you got the link to this video, and you will have also had a short email to send out to the estate agents. Now, what I want you to do is to send it out to the letting side of the agents. Okay? And I want you to, depending on how many days you are working on your property business, to make sure your diary is full either for one day with these appointments, in which case you'll need to do 4 appointments around 9:30, about 12, about 2:30 and about 5. Don't rush them, don't put them together too quick, because remember it is all about building the rapport with the agents. Okay, so the email will say something along the lines of, I'm looking for a property that I can rent for a year and be guaranteed to be able to buy it at the end of the year, because I've got some money coming at the end of the year and my circumstances are that I really need to move now. And I don't want to have to actually move at the end of my rental contract into a house when my money's here. So that's why I'm looking for a property to rent now and buy. So that's what the gist of the email is going to say. But when you're with the agents, you've emailed out. So you've emailed out to the agent with the email I've just said, and they phoned you and you're at the meeting. Now, it's no good if there's no uplift in the property. It's no good if it's an immaculate property. You've got to be able to get a lift from being able to do it up. So I'm going to pretend now I'm talking to you as the agent, and this will be you talking to the agent. So look, and I'm going to give you numbers from an example of a deal that we came very close to doing. Okay, so Mr. Agent, I noticed that the property is on the market to purchase for 450 grand. And I noticed that we can also rent it for up to 12 months for £1,500 a month. Well, what I'd like to do is put in an offer to the vendor, if you could do that for me, an offer that allows my solicitors to exchange contracts and to sign the AST on the same day. Because what I want to do, I want to sign the letting agent agreement for 1 year, and I want to have a delay completion to exchange contracts on the same day as I sign the tenancy, with completion in 1 year. Now, we're not going to mention to the estate agents about it being a signable contract. That's the bit that we'll do at estate agents stage. So just to recap, I'd like to put an offer of 430 on this property that's on the market for 450, and I'd like to rent the property for 1 year, and I'm going to buy it at the end of the year when my money arrives. So that's the first stage. The estate agent will say, okay, that's fine. They'll go off and say to the vendor that I've got a client who wants to rent for a year, and exchange contracts now and complete in 1 year's time on your property. And you know, if the property's on the market for rent and for sale, there's no reason why the vendor wouldn't agree to do that, unless we're back into a hot market by the time you're looking at this. And we're into a hot market and they might not want to agree a price at the end of the year, which case I'll have got my way around that later on. But for now, this is working great. So that's the first thing you say to the agent. The agent will come back to you and hopefully will say, yes, the vendors agreed to that. So you're going to then ask to see the property again, and when you're there, please do this face to face with the agent. But when you're actually there, you're actually going to say to the agent, look, I know I'm going to buy this in a year, but the property is pretty scruffy at the moment. Can you please check with the vendor if it's okay for me to put a new kitchen, new bathroom? In fact, I'll draw up a whole schedule of works for them to agree to, but could you please get the vendor to agree to allow me to do the property up while I'm living here? I've already exchanged contracts and at the end of the year I'll be completed, so can I please put a new kitchen, bathroom in, etc, etc. And that is where we leave it. We then let the estate agent go back to the vendor and ask that question, and again, hopefully it's a no-brainer for the vendor. Yeah, they've exchanged contracts, they want to do it up, they're going to put extra value in the property. I think the only challenge they might have is if you strip the kitchen out and don't put another one in, so you might have to come up with some assurances for that. But other than that, and if that is a problem, then come to me and we'll talk through it. But other than that, again, go and do this bit with the estate agent face to face at the property. Let them go and put this forward to the vendor. Now, once that's agreed, the vendors come back to the agents come back to you. One of the particular properties I'm thinking of, by building an extension and putting the kitchen in the extension at the cost of about 100 grand on top of the 420 we offered, okay, a like-for-like property around the corner had just sold for 750. So we show the estate agent the picture of the other property that's on the market and say, look, do you think the vendor would mind if I actually built an extension on and put this amazing kitchen in to the property while I'm renting it? And you know, obviously we're buying it anyway, so for you, you're buying it at the fixed price, so any added value is where we're going to make our profit, and that's it. So if the vendor then comes back and says yes, great, then we've nailed it, haven't we? We've managed to rent ourselves a property that we don't have to buy. We're not buying it at all, we're just renting it, but with exchange contracts. Now, we do need to make sure it goes on the signable contract, but we'll leave that into the solicitor's bit. So once you've done the work and you're renting it, you never move in, you put it on the market, sell it and pocket the profit. That's what it's all about, isn't it? You can make 50, 100, 200 grand profit on these, especially when there's extensions, or maybe it's just 20 or 30 grand, but you don't have the cost of exchanging contracts, holding, getting a mortgage, stamp duty. It eliminates all that. So it is a form of delay completion. It's what I call a beginner's guide to delay completions. Obviously, as you get a hold of this, we'll move you up a couple of notches and a couple of levels. But other than that, just remember, do this in the stages that I've mentioned. Not repeat, do not say this all to the estate agent at the same time. Just do it in bits so they tell the vendor in bits. Just imagine you're the vendor, the estate agent comes to you and says, oh, I've got somebody who wants to build an extension, put in new kitchen, new bathroom, they want to exchange contracts with you, they want to do all of this, rent it while they're doing it, and you know, maybe sell it and make a profit, and never actually buy it off you. That's just not going to work, is it? That's why the nibbles are so important. and it's so important to make sure you do this in stages that I've outlined in detail. Follow this bit by bit, pretty much word for word, and you, when you found deals, will be able to make tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds profit without ever buying a property. That is the summary of the strategy of rent and buy. Good luck. Go make yourself some serious money.